welcome back to Nat19. Campaign 1. There it is.
Logan, I died.
Ah, shit. Session 22. Heckin' Campaign 1, Session 22, Vestige of Ophiuchus. Hi, everyone. We're back. We're us, and you're you, and you look delightful today, and I like what you did with your shoes. I'm gonna guess from this happy reunion that you'd be the highest standard then. Otherwise, this is a strange reaction to a mysterious horse.
Kidding, I am Quintus Valorbilt, and this is the highest standard. Motions back to the estate.
You seem to be waiting for me, so I'm going to assume that you must have seen the note that we left for you, yeah?
We were very thorough in our going through of this place. I thank you, before anything, very much, for the return of Winchester.
There's absolutely no need to thank us. We were making up for something that shouldn't have happened to begin with. But your thanks are welcome regardless.
My name is Quintus Valorbilt, as you probably already know. Is there any way I can know the person I'm speaking to, or is that a secret?
My name is Thulin Island. I'm not supposed to technically tell anybody who I work for, but fairly certain you can pick that up, but I'm not going to say it. Anyways, that said, my employers wanted to know if you had an answer regarding setting up a meeting, or if you wanted us to stay out of your hair, with the assumption, of course, that you'll stay out of theirs.
Quintus would have been on the side of might as well see what they want, so he would be for doing it. What about the others? Oh.
That is a good way to retroactively do it.
Yeah. We're outnumbered already, is he?
Nay! One sec, hold on.
Winchester gets a vote!
Yay, Winchester!
Come on.
Well, then
Winchester's
Force
a member of
deserves
this
a
family!
vote. Billy deserves a vote! Like, fucking get everybody in there!
So then, a neutral, 2 against, and 3 for, assuming that the party doesn't break down into infighting over this. Mary Mist would also abstain. She would consider that to be your business. So it looks like the vote would have been to meet with them, so with that information, Quintus, you may proceed.
We talked about it, and while it was not unanimous, we do believe that meeting you would be preferable.
Alright. In that case, we'd like to do this as soon as possible. I'm going to head back and tell my superior that they should come meet with you, and they'll probably show up sometime tonight, if that's alright.
Then I will see you all tonight.
It would be rude of us not to let you know what to expect. Given how they usually travel, you can expect the empty promise, as well as myself, my friend Barkoven, and 2 of our puppy dogs will be coming along with us. Any objections to that sort of crowd?
What?
I love dogs!
Did he just say puppy dogs? Yeah. This is the family?
That seems perfectly reasonable to me. We'll make sure that there is some sort of food or snack available. There is one term I would like to ask, if that is okay.
Absolutely.
I would like to make sure that we all understand, no matter how negotiations go, no violence is to be happening here.
Do we look like the tailors to you?
I don't know what any of you look like, to be perfectly honest. I just want
We're
to
not.
make sure that's
That's
known.
not how we do things. We would not have returned your horse to you if we intended to just kill you. As far as we're concerned, as long as moving forward, you don't plan to interfere with our business, which is purely business. We're not assassins or anything to that effect, so you don't need to worry about
Our business
that.
only lies with Murkwire, not you.
That's exactly what we'd like to discuss. All right. Have a good day. He looks back up to Lexi. You too!
Have a nice day!
Thank you for not shooting me!
Thank you for not doing anything that would make me shoot you.
If I may make a request, girl with crossbow, please do not be aiming that at the empty promise when we return. We won't do anything, but it's not a good idea.
I'll see what I can do.
There you go.
Sure.
He gives a very small bow, and then he turns and walks back down the path.
I will sit on the porch with Winchester for the rest of the day.
I want to get a rocking chair, and so I can just like put it on the front porch. When people come by,
Get
it's
off
like,
of
hey,
your
have you
lawn.
It's just like, hey, have you seen a town? It's like, yeah. Pull out sword, cock sword.
Yeah.
Back the way you came.
I love it. He's just
Oh, guard dog Vogan.
I'm just
the way
picturing,
you
like, cocking a sword is basically just pulling it slightly out of the sheath and then pulling
Yeah.
it back in.
the most about that is I'm almost certain that Summergrass is visible from the estate.
It is
What are you doing?
absolutely.
It's like, what are you doing?
If they ask me that question, they
Fucking-
deserve that answer.
The Summergrass, the walls of Summergrass, and especially the fucking Skyward Estate, because the Platinum District is on an elevated section, and then the Skyward Estate itself looms up above it. It would be so visible, like.
Because we have like patches of farmland and all this stuff, so there's just these clear empty fields, and then a big ass city.
Then rising like the Empire State Building in a field.
To be fair, depending on what side we're facing, Vogan could just be telling the truth.
Yeah.
Back away.
I mean, if you see them coming from
What? It's like
Summergrass.
what? It's right there. I told. Why are you screaming?
Yeah, it's back the way you came. Explain it again.
With like the crash. Logan.
There was a single wheel track that, so there was the two normal wagon tracks from their wagon,
They were attacked by a clown.
and then
Oh, no.
there was a single, what looked like a single wheel track that dug deeper into the ground that seemed to move up from, it came from the direction that the wagon had come from as well, seemed to move out in front of the wagon, skidded, and left a very large skid along the ground in front of it, and then seemed to stop, and then went off in the other direction, down a different path. The notable thing there being that whatever that was only had, seemed to only have one wheel.
It was either a unicycle, the world's first unicycle, or
Digging deeper into the ground.
Or what?
yeah.
With a really fat clown on
Sorry,
it.
no, it was a
Oh my god,
unicycle.
it's crazy killer clowns. from
Unicycle
outer
or
space.
what?
or a motorbike.
Yeah, there you go.
Cloud Strife did this.
That son of a bitch!
What
No matter
has
what
one
happens.
wheel? I
No matter
don't.
what happened, we should.
A
pick the best option.
unicycle.
Okay.
So it might have been a bike.
It might have been a bike.
Could have been a bike.
That's what I said.
Do we
No,
have
not a motorbike. A regular
Wait,
bike.
do D&D bikes exist?
A regular bike.
That's a
No, the
complex
bicycle.
question.
I feel like that's
Bicycles
allowed to be asked.
bicycles
Like a
would
bicycle.
you could argue the bicycles exist. I think that Spencer's more making a joke about a particular
Motorbike.
kind.
I was taking
Yeah.
it seriously. I don't know.
They
I'm trying to figure out what
Bread,
happened.
no one's making fun of you. Saying it's a complicated answer isn't saying bread that's dumb. We're saying yes, but in
I
hell.
know.
It had to be something heavier than a carriage, so the thought of anything light like that wouldn't immediately jump at me. What was the ground like near them? Do you remember?
It's time for Detective
It was all
Marion
like dug
Fenris.
up. It was all like dug up.
All right. Did you see any plant life or anything?
Anything
Sorry.
dead?
It did nothing look like it scarred the area around it. It looked like if you had to guess, whoever it was on whatever vehicle they were in seemed to come in, kill the horse on their way by, stop in front of the vehicle, in front of the wagon, and then you would guess got off, considering you saw a boot print on the back of the woman. They seemed to get off and then do whatever they did and then left.
Oh my gosh, there's a boot.
But there's
print. Why didn't you
But
tell us?
there's no scarring on the ground there. There were no chunks dug up out of it. The only things that seemed to happen in the area were that they were thrown from the wagon, and then that tree was partially damaged when the spear-like weapon went through it and the man, and there would have been a small hole underneath the woman's body where the spear went through her back and into the ground. Look like so. Roll me investigation. 14.
Proud.
So what you can take from it, given the boot print, you can't take a lot about the weight because it's not like it left a major indent in them or anything. There are no broken bones, so if they put their full weight on this person, then their weight wasn't enough to alone cause any major damage. The thing that did it seems to be roughly the size of a relatively regular humanoid. That's neither large nor small. You would find that any residue left on it, like the dirt from the boot, appears to just match the common dirt that's around the area.
Yeah, about my size, a bit bigger.
Also still seems strange though, because like they don't seem to be rich and they didn't steal anything from them, so it's like why attack them in the first place?
I just killed them.
Yeah, and they killed their horse too.
Well, they're not dead. I imagine they
They're
have a
Practically dead.
If it's
How
either one of
terrifying.
them again,
It's
then the
really
church would
scary.
probably have some sort of answers.
Yeah, well, I mean,
At least we would be notifying the church.
but it'll leave it in their hands anyway. Isn't there a community nearby with that undead problem as well?
Well, that's a little bit away, isn't it? That's like to the south of the city.
It was like on the outskirts of Summergrass.
Yeah.
That was...
I'd say that'd be. half an hour to an hour from where you are.
Oh, well, we can do that before we have to have dinner. We're not waiting up on anything else.
Oh no, I'm just wondering if the two are connected. Is all.
Oh, that's true. I didn't consider that.
We need to take the carriage back either way. I'll take Winchester and the carriage to the city. I'll give these people to the guard in the church, and then I'll make my way back as soon as I can.
Go and look
I'm
for
hoping to
Elmira
leave the
again.
carriage with them.
I
So
need to
you'll need
speak
to bring-
with Edrigan and them anyways.
Should
Or
someone
not
tell
Edrigan,
Raleigh
but
what we're doing?
These people.
That would be nice.
Raleigh's in the attic. He's fine.
You guys like leave them here for some reason. You like go to do your things. Raleigh just walks out. There's a soulless person on the porch, and one of the rocking chairs like, huh.
Or like someone
He's
attacks while
decoration,
we're all...
Raleigh.
I cast Thunder Wave away from everybody.
Raleigh, you hear a thunder wave go off outside.
Just like a few seconds later, top floor window opens. What the devil is going on out there?
We're going to the church! If you would like, I don't think you'd like to accompany us on that one.
And we're gonna go
Why?
look for Elmira and people. You can stay here or come with us. What do you want to do?
Sure, I'll come with, I suppose. Why are
Which
we going to a
group?
church?
We found two people who are lacking souls, and it's rather concerning. You should probably come downstairs.
No, I'd rather just keep yelling from here, Fesk. No.
You ruin your voice that way. I'm not making you root teeth for months because you've lost your voice.
We're expecting visitors around dinner time, so we have about, what, it's an hour there and back? Or it's an hour there and an hour back, 2 hours. We have about 3 hours in the city maximum before we're allowed.
And plus, I don't think we should be staying anywhere for any extended amount of time with the... Well, maybe that's just in Summergrass.
We need to be careful.
Wait.
I was planning on just rushing back with Winchester since there's people looking for us, but while we're there, we do need to make sure that we either get permission to use this carriage again, or we get some, or we
I'm going
rent
to
one of
buy
our...
this, Quinn, if
Oh,
they
okay.
let me.
Oh,
Good.
Aren't they looking for a purple tiefling?
Sure.
It's fine.
Oh, he's with me. Don't worry.
Oh, so like makeup kit? But are they looking for a red tiefling?
wow.
No, the sign said purple.
They're looking for a red hobgoblin.
Hit me with it.
It's like the makeup gun from Simpsons.
Clothesbeam!
I start
So
doing
we
up your
spend however
face.
long it would take to
Beautiful.
disguise him.
Yeah.
Fenris,
I
you
would
get
have
disguised?
gone off.
I would have
would-
gone with him, yeah.
So I'm guessing you guys leave off with Mrs. Horse?
Yeah.
So just to be clear, the groups are Vogan and Lexi are going to continue their search for Elmira, the Rat Folk, and Elzandi, and the other
Be safe.
the other four are going to go to the church and then go shopping. Alrighty. So you guys ride your way to the city. Vogan, you split off from the group. For the sake of how I know we're going to be switching through things, I'll say we'll stick with the main group briefly, switch to Vogan, and then back again,
And then
because
finish
you guys have multiple stops. You guys are heading into the city. You're taking the carriage into the city with you. Well, the wagon into the city with you, because you want to transport the bodies, right?
Yes, and that's why I would have told the guards coming in that we have people that need help at the church.
Okay. They would see that, and if you were to tell the guards that, they would not stop you. Roll me a percentile die, Dika.
Boop. 12!
They would, when you show the bodies, one of the guards would have a, one of the guards would have seemed somewhat surprised by what's going on. The other guard, whenever you note that you're taking a couple of seemingly soulless bodies to the church, they do not seem terribly surprised.
This normal?
It's not normal, but it's, not unprecedented recently. The church can tell you more about it. If you see any more like this, please take them there as well. We can't really think what to do with them. And could you tell us what happened? Like where you found them?
Just outside of town. there was an attack. Their horse and carriage were attacked. We thought we might be able to help them, so we took their pelts and things into our carriage. As you can see, they seem to be hunters. We saw that there was a wheel that was also with them, a single wheel, it looked as if. But whatever that was, it seemed to have turned and left.
A single wheel. Oh, like a track.
It wasn't another carriage. It seemed just to be a single wheel of sorts.
It's relatively consistent. All
Consistent.
right, thank you. If you find out anything else, please report it to someone.
We shall. Thank you for your help.
Whenever you guys approach the Temple of the Summer Sky, you bring the carriage up to the large area out front where the 3 large representative statues of the Eidolons of Retia are present. You are asked around there to leave your carriage. You guys proceed in. As soon as you alert the priests here to what's going on, they call some people out to help to bring the bodies of the 2 hunters, which we will refer to them as moving forward. The 2 hunters to move them into the temple. Again, they don't seem to be surprised by this. To what point do you want to follow this? Do you want to follow them in and speak to them, or are you looking to drop them off and then head on your way?
Because the guards showed such an interest in it, I will ask the party if they would wait while I try to get any information we can, or if they want to come with me.
I mean, I'd like to know what's going on. It's really weird.
Indeed. The more information we can have on something like this, the better.
Raleigh steps
Don't
in.
want to.
I'm kidding.
It burns!
I can't step through the threshold. No one read into this. It's just an allergy to smoke bomb.
As you follow the clerics and priests in, you are taken into the temple, which is a relatively large structure. Not as large as the individual temples, which all are basically small settlements built around churches. But this one, it's relatively impressive. More than you'd expect from a real-life, everyday church. The priest, as you guys get in there, have you already spoken to the town guard about this? Have you informed the Iron Watch of everything that happened?
Yes. They seem to think it was coinciding with other reports they have gotten.
How many people are here that have been affected by this?
Well, from the ones that we have found, this would be them. Some of them have families that did come in and claim them, but they've all opted to allow us to treat them in the meantime, given the vacant state that they're in. They've started turning up every once in a while.
Any regularity?
The first ones were found about 3 months ago.
These 2 had injuries, piercing straight through them.
Yes, they've all had similar ones, that once we healed them, they left a large mark.
Yes.
That did not seem to be a curse because we could not purify it or remove it.
It's rather concerning.
My friend performed a bit of magic on them as well. And it
Waves.
seemed as if something burned off of them from it.
I guess that would be Miriam.
He's not in here, so...
Yeah.
When,
With the character.
yes, commonly when we attempt to remove the damage, and when we try to remove any curses that might be present, we did feel like some residual energy from whatever did this to them is burned off, but it has never been of any consequence. Just
How long has this been
markings
going
left
on?
behind. And I should note that we believe that there have been more like this. The bodies are left in this state, but if there were people that this had happened to that had not been found, they would have starved to death in the streets if the bodies were just left there. So, we estimate that there are a great many more, apart from the ones that are here.
But what could forcibly be stealing, if I dare say, these souls from people?
It would have to be very powerful magic. That if whomever did it was found, I'm sure the Academy would like to have a word with them. And the city guard would probably wish to execute them.
With how many souls they've claimed, I would not be surprised.
This is tantamount to murder as far as we're concerned, and the city guard is treating it like it. There's even a few guilds in the city that are making it their sole concern to try to keep a watch out for this.
That is good
So
to
if
hear.
anything were to be found, then it would be within anyone's jurisdiction to potentially bring them to justice then?
Absolutely. The city guard would like to handle it themselves, but given the nature of what's happening and the irregular situation with a weapon that steals souls and some sort of means of transportation that we're unfamiliar with, I'm sure that nobody would take any offense to them being brought to justice. Again, the guilds that are going out of their way to look out for this, I believe that they're not cooperating with the city guard. They're acting independently, and the city guard doesn't seem to care. These ones have been found within the city limits. None were found within the Platinum District, which is sensible. Whatever's doing this doesn't seem to want to try to break in. They're mostly from the Electorate District. They seem to be targeting mostly humans and half-elves. But he motions over to the corner. There are a couple of half-orcs and otherwise here. Now, where did you find them? Outside the city?
Around 15 minutes outside, I believe. He looks over to Lexi to make sure that's right.
All the ones that we have found are, they were found inside the city, but as I said, in the same way that I'm sure there are many more that this has happened to, it's much more likely that we simply haven't found the ones that have happened outside the city because nobody would have stumbled upon them, or wild animals would have found the bodies.
It was very recent, within a couple of hours.
Thank the gods that we found them when we did.
So they were hunting during the morning then, outside the city?
I actually saw a small camp just outside of where we're staying, and it seemed to have a campfire going. People seem to have recently been there. I wonder if that might have been these people or not. I'll check it out whenever we return.
I certainly hope not.
Any work that you do to that end, you should speak to the city guard about. Unfortunately, we can only handle things on this end.
Of course.
We're not in charge of any of the efforts to find the people, just to help those that this has happened to, and hope that their souls might be found. The most peculiar thing about this situation is that the bodies are left alive even though the wounds should have been lethal. So it is our assumption that whatever is stealing the souls, as grim as this may sound, it requires the bodies to remain alive for the souls to be kept in whatever form they're being kept in.
That means they could be saved.
Yes. There is, if this is something that you wish to look into, there is one other facet to this that is a bit unfortunate. There are a couple of others that we had found apart from these, but for seemingly no reason. They simply died at one point. Those examples were about a month and a half ago, but after caring for them for a couple of weeks, one of them suddenly screamed out, and they died as if the wound that had killed them re-emerged, even though we healed it. A couple of weeks after that, another one did the same. The others have been here for longer than that, so it doesn't seem to be a matter of staying this way. We don't know what caused them to die. Our theory is that something happened to the soul.
We will look into it.
Please try not to spread too much fear regarding it.
We'll keep it to ourselves. Thank you, sir.
While this is going on outside, you would hear a somewhat familiar voice call out to you in an overly friendly tone, approaching towards you, and you would turn and you would see the man that you had only seen once before, Argo.
Oh yeah,
walking towards you guys.
Hey, boy.
What brings you here?
Some people got stabbed, and
Come to turn yourselves in for stealing souls?
of course, it's only a devil's duty.
Christ almighty.
I fucking love Kitty.
Now, I would have thought that you guys would stay out of the city, given how things are.
Yeah, you would expect that. No, I'm shopping. Oil flasks. Those are like $1 each. It's about 10 of those. Anyways, what brings you to the church? You here to turn yourself into?
Oh yeah, I'm such a delinquent. The church can't abide by a rogue cleric going around killing undead. He takes out a small little packet of coins and tosses it in the air. I'm actually here to make a contribution. Keeps up the image. If I may ask, I know that some people are after you and your friends. He walks over to your wagon and leans back on it. What exactly did you do? You stole something, right?
Yeah. We made enemies with a political leader from the Strike Lands, and she's not too keen on me right now.
Oh yeah? Was that the mysterious benefactor behind all this?
Yeah, I'd like to assume so. I guess I'm quite popular over there.
I'd be interested in hearing the details if you give them to me. That way I know when I'm cleaving you in half with this thing in the night exactly why I'm doing it.
I slept with someone on her bed and stole this suit of armor from her before freeing several of her prisoners and escaping into the night.
That was really dumb. You
Didn't plan
deserve to
on
be
it.
brought in.
I can't say I feel bad about wronging her specifically. You gonna be entering the tournament coming up soon?
Oh, the glass crown?
Yeah.
Why? Are you?
Oh, of course.
That's pretty bold of you.
Have all those eyes on me?
When I passed a friendly warning on to the lot of you, it was maybe in the hopes that if you were secretly good people, you'd get out of town. And now you're telling me that you plan to enter into the most public event you could possibly find.
Oh.
Well, I guess we couldn't attack you there. And if we killed you there, then that would be in bad taste.
Quite troublesome.
From what I understand, the regulations of the tournament also prohibit the fighting of members between it, so if you entered, and let's say that I did, I guess that means I wouldn't be able to kill you or attack you, as long as it was going on.
Does that mean I won't see you there?
Oh no, it just means I'm gonna have to take you out before it happens, huh?
At least let me finish hiring some people before you kill me, though.
That's fine. So, you're outside the city. You're staying in a house that's not here?
It's quite nice, actually. I've taken to it. It's a bit ramshackle as a fixer-upper, but we should get it working in almost no time.
Oh, fuck. I'm no good at tracking people, man. It'd be a real favor to us if you could just stay at an inn here.
Yeah, I understand that.
Alright, well, I don't want to bother you too much. At this point, you see the others are coming out. Hey, could you do me a favor and, like, when I catch up with you, could you have some bodies with you so I could point and be like, aha, caught you red-handed?
It was you. Yeah, sure, I'll do my best.
Thanks. So, see you when I bring you in, or whatever.
Hello.
You're back.
Yeah, sorry it took us so long. We had to deal with stuff. A lot more stuff than I thought we would have. But, we have a house now.
That's a marked improvement.
Yeah. Yeah, sudden development. You guys want to follow me? I can lead you to the house.
Are you sure that you have room for us?
Yeah, it's like a manor. There's probably enough room.
To be fair, we could always stay outside. It's not terrible. Even if you didn't have room inside, it'd be fine. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You were being hunted before. Have you bumped into any trouble?
We did. Lexi and I were originally going to come find you together, but on the way we found this carriage, but it was, well, the horse was killed, and the two people driving the thing were attacked. They're not dead. It looks like their souls were stolen or something.
Right.
I don't really know.
Their souls
The
were
cleric-
taken by force, but they weren't killed?
Yeah.
And you're going to try to do something about it?
I don't think we've decided that much yet, but this thing is apparently a problem. Oh wait, no, I don't know that yet.
It's true.
1 second, pulls up phone. What's it, group text? Oh no! Oh no, everyone in the city's getting killed. Oh
geez,
no,
this is
only
bad.
some people. Only some people.
Oh man, 8 people. We haven't really discussed any plans to take this dude down, but if he runs into us, then we'll have to defend ourselves.
I'd be happy to try to stay at this place that you found. I'm not a huge fan of the sort of hustle and bustle in this city, but I must admit that this particular part of Retia is much calmer than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, a bit of a stark difference than the Strikelands.
The last time I was in Retia, I suppose I must have been in a more populated area, and I assumed that the entirety of the country was like this, well, the continent. But I like it here.
They're bigger places than Summergrass.
The capital, Heaven's
Never
Jaw,
been
where
there.
the royal family is.
Huh.
It's a city the size of a small country. I have
That
been
is
there a few times in the
terrifying.
past.
How was it over there?
Very busy, very ritzy. I've also heard that the capital of Grey Rock is very industrial, and I hope never to visit it. I don't possess the same biases that you may expect from my kind, but I'm not particularly interested in cities where the sky is a blanket of smog, and I have heard that is what it's like there.
Anyway, I've only got the one horse, so we're gonna have to walk back.
Honestly, that's how I'd prefer it anyways.
Fair enough.
I'm not in any
Alzandi, you wanna ride?
Uh,
particular rush.
Alzandi will get up, stretch, and then hops over and hops onto the back of the horse.
He does a stretch like a kitty. Like
He does. He stretches like a kitty.
Yeah.
By the way, do you know of any like carts or like vehicles or anything that like have one wheel or make one wheel track?
I can't say that I do.
That's what we found at the scene of the attack. It looked weird.
Let's see. A vehicle that has only one wheel. I've heard of certain magical devices that maybe could run that way, but nothing particularly common and nothing I've ever seen myself.
Yeah, I've heard of these things called unicycles, but it looked like a really fat guy was riding it. We used to make goblins ride them, but they'd fall every time.
Whip them on the unicycle.
And
we continue.
what do you currently
Used
think of
to
that,
make
Vogan?
goblins.
Oh yeah, no, that was fucked up.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Good.
Man, character development, am I right?
We used to
Goddamn.
make goblins do
It would do your training well in
Hobgoblins are
future
bullies.
not to laugh when recounting these sorts of things.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'll get on that. And
She's just
we'll...
like, have you got your pointing and laughing thing under control yet, Vogan?
Yeah. He's like fighting the urge to lift his hand up.
Fucking one of the rats comes out. The rat jumps out of the tree, slips, and like hits the ground. And Vogan just like raises arms, like, "Hold on a second, buddy. I'll help you out."
You need some help there.
Those that are inside, since we've done that, frankly, fucking dragging on session with Vogan just now. We're gonna come back.
It's like enough is enough, am I
Right? Like, oh my god, come on. We're trying to
Frankly,
play
I've had
a game
too much
here.
screen time already.
Honestly, we
Just
could just
kill
cut
him
him
already.
No.
Just kill him already.
So, my boys, you guys go to the gates of the Platinum District, and as established before, once again, like last time, Diane is sent for to escort you to where you're supposed to go. Many of you have seen this art already, but it's the first time it's properly showing up in games, so BAM! Oh my god.
Go.
When Diane showed
Fantasy
up,
Grounds is heckin'
Having a heart attack?
not
that's
happy
pretty
about
sad.
it. Walks up to you guys again very studiously, brings has her usual clipboard with her when she does so. Walks up, stands, pushes her glasses up.
You've been gone for quite some time.
long time no see.
Yes.
I suppose you could be ready
It,
with
seems so.
what you asked of us? I suppose you could be ready with what you asked of us?
We are. If you're ready for it, then we could send for a cleric to come and do the Zone of Truth.
I believe now is the best time, especially given certain things happening in the city.
Kyverium had stopped by and talked to us, and we were very happy to hear you were okay. And we assumed that you had good enough reasons for not coming to see us, and we assumed that they had to do with the situation with the guilds.
But
We don't have a ton of time. We would like to get home before dark because of those reasons.
Come with me.
Okay. You guys follow her back. Let's see if heckin' this is gonna work, cause I have a feeling it won't.
Hell yeah.
Oh, no.
Close you.
I bet it'll work.
I'm
It,
scared.
it might be because I have too many things shared in the campaign, so I will fix that in the future, but boom! Is that gonna... Why does that one work?
It worked!
Hey!
New Edrigan!
Oh,
Even Fantasy Grounds knows that she's going to betray us.
Why?
No.
You walk in. This time, rather than having to come meet him in the back, Edrigan is waiting outside the front for you all.
I hope you're well, Edrigan.
Like a
I've been doing
subconscious
relatively fine. It's good to see you all back.
We have much to discuss.
We do. Regarding what you did while you were gone that got you into the trouble that you're currently in. Regarding the situation with Lexi.
We have a couple of other things as well, but I believe the best option is to make sure that you know we're on the up and up. So, if we'd like to first start with that and wait for our cleric.
Given that you went out of your way to rescue Kyverium from what I understand to be incredibly perilous straits, I believe I've already made up my mind regarding you, but since we've already gone through the trouble of hiring a cleric in advance, for the sake of public perception, I agree that we should go through with the questioning.
Whenever the cleric arrives, Fenris and Lexi,
Oh my god.
you guys recognize him. It's not Kevzafir. You do recognize another cleric of Tequin, however, named who you would know as Antrius. He's a bit of a reclusive cleric. He tends to be out a lot, but you have met him and he knows about Lexi. When you come in and he approaches, Edrigan is very direct, meaning like,
Whenever we found out about exactly what we were going to be doing, we thought it would be prudent to look into any clerics in the city that may have come from the same place as you, since that would keep the secret. And when we explained basically what was going on, Antrius here made it clear that he understands your situation, so he offered to do this. He said that you were trustworthy, but he's decided to lend his services for this.
I'd heard you two got into trouble here, and I thought that it would be more trouble for the church if something got out of hand, so I offered my services.
He hasn't. The church itself that we've come from hasn't heard of our predicament, have they?
I wouldn't know. I haven't been back to the Atonian capital in quite some time. Best I can see, I left before you did to come here and do things, and I haven't been back. I've been in the city trying to help with the outlying communities, and that is,
Good to be busy then, huh?
Yeah. So, if they know about something, then I don't know that they do. Is there something you've done that
No.
they should know about?
No,
Have you done something, Fenris?
No, just you have a job to be doing. Why blur everyone out?
Yes, the job that I've been hired to do is to ascertain the moral structure of you and of Lexi, and I feel like this line of questioning may be related. Did you do something?
We got Kyverium's research to him. You're looking at me.
So you're not going to tell me whatever it is you're hiding, then? It's what I'm picking up from this. All right, let's just get this over with, Edrigan.
This is supposed to be about Lexi.
Holy shit, dude!
Please. I'll be.
You're sketch as fuck right now.
I'm not sure what you did, but I guess guess we'll find out if it's ever important, isn't it?
all right, you guys head back upstairs. There would be a latch to this place. There would be, in one of the rooms that, one of the storage rooms, there would be a covered latch that she would have, that when you were coming down would have been pulled up and you would have gone down. She closes it and locks it from the outside once you guys are up, and I'm stealing Carrie.
Oh no! Oh no!
For you.
Go. But shit! Shit!
Hello, Carrie.
Dude, I was just like, what
It's the first time I've had somebody in a dungeon thing. I have a separate thing set up on the side for, like, you know where our tokens are on screen?
Mm-hmm.
I have a second thing set up, like, on the right, so that if we go into the dungeon chat, those tokens move over there. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's heckin' neat!
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, dude, I was just like,
So.
you can't make me go, and I was just like staying in the chat until you dragged me in.
Yes, I can.
Fuck!
All right. So, again, I'd like to apologize for this. On the record. And Antrius, I'd like it if you could substantiate anything that is said here in the future. You are a cleric of Tequin, so...
And Antrius nods.
Let's start with something simple. What's your name?
Lexi Hendricks.
And what race are you?
I'm a Kitsadria.
Who knows about that?
everyone in the highest standard, and
Is-
you guys.
Is that everyone that knows about it?
As best as I can recall, it's them and a friend that I'm looking for.
What is your relationship with the Bandit Lord Murkwire?
He attacked us, and we would like to get revenge for that. We're also suspicious of him because of everything that's going on with Amnesia.
Have you worked with the Bandit Lord Murkwire? Are you the same Kitsadria that has been known to work with the Bandit Lord Murkwire?
No.
Do you know that Kitsadria?
We met her. Her name's Scandal, and she confessed to be working with Murkwire.
Have you in the past, have you sold any information regarding the operations of our company? As in, specifically, did you leak the information regarding the delivery that was meant to be an ambush on the day that you had been attacked by Murkwire?
No. If we haven't discussed it as a group, then I'm not going to say any names. I'm just going to say no, that wasn't me.
I would like to know exactly what your intentions are. The highest standard, are they friends of the city of Summergrass?
I believe so, yes. I think everyone in the highest standard is very trustworthy, good people.
And you would trust every member of the highest standard implicitly? I apologize, this particular question is truthfully why we did not wish for them to be here. Last time we met, concerns were raised that your friend Aristo had sold the lot of you out. So I ask again.
He, just looks to Antreus,
Just to abide by the nature of the spell. Do you trust fully the members of the highest standard?
Yes. I previously had concerns about Aristo, but I no longer have those.
Have you discovered without a doubt that Aristo did not sell you out?
Ooh.
You had suspicions that it was the Kitsadria scandal impersonating them. Have you confirmed that to be true?
Yes, she admitted to it, yes.
In the future, assuming that there are no further crossed wires and that we fulfill our end of the current bargain, are you willing to work with the Amberwick Company and possibly other merchant lords to protect the city from whatever it is Murkwire may be doing?
Yes.
That is satisfactory for me then. Assuming that the spell worked, I have no question about your integrity. I do want to tell you, because it may be of interest to you, that while you were gone, we had attempted to speak with the merchant lords and High Lord Morian, and we wanted to try to get more of the city's resources pouring in to trying to arrest Murkwire. But there has been some interference, and his name, specifically, that Murkwire, the gladiator from Sermonway, is a criminal. His name's been blocked. Someone is making it so that he's remaining anonymous in all of this. The city does not consider him to be a criminal currently, so we can't act. This is alarming because with the amount of evidence that we believe we have, the fact that our word is not good enough, the fact that my word as a merchant lord is not good enough, means that somebody on the inside is helping him. I believe that High Lord Morian would normally believe me. I am one of his advisors, one of his closest advisors. But he's not outright declaring Murkwire a criminal. He would only do that, in my opinion, if he thought that it would make some situation worse.
I'm sorry, I'm not really sure what we could do.
Stop Murkwire from doing whatever it is that he's doing and find absolute proof that he's acting with criminal intent. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like, but that is what we would need to do.
I mean, we'd have to give it to you though, because we're wanted, so no one's really gonna listen to us.
You're only wanted as far as the guilds go.
Okay. Can I get out of the circle now?
Absolutely. I'm sorry for the nature of all this. Oh, actually, before I put the spell down, Lexi, what is Fenris hiding?
I actually don't know. She's acting really sketchy, and I don't know why.
Oh, she is such a worrywart. I do not understand her sometimes.
No, it's really weird. I mean, there's this whole thing with her and Miriam. I think she's just being really weird about.
Is it about this, is it about this supposed hit that's been put out on you? Do you think?
Well, I mean, you guys know about that, so why would she be acting all weird about it?
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, well, if she doesn't want to tell me, then I'm
Fenris
just...
is weird. You know how weird she is.
You feel the magic dissipate.
I'll be staying in the city for a while longer. I actually plan to stay for the festivities that are coming up. I wouldn't want to miss it. It's the first time in 30 years this place is going to have a new king, and apparently it's going to be this guy, so he thinks.
I mean, I really hope so.
High Lord, not king. But yes.
I mean, king's a cool title too.
The term king should be reserved for the royal family in Heaven's Jaw.
Okay, High Lord.
And there's a reason why we've never addressed the High Lords as kings and queens.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But yes, I do hope to take the position and make things better for your friends, such as Fenris and Lexi. Alright, well, as a regular old human, I can't say that I'm against that. But you might find opposition. I'll be about my day. Hope to see you during the festivities, Lexi.
I want to see them too.
He heads out. The others head out as well, and they head back upstairs.
The city is not terribly safe for you to be in right now.
No, I'm planning
Meanwhile,
to get
the
out of here
electric
very
just-
quickly.
No way!
Miriam dead on the street.
With that
Was it
note-
because they knew he was Miriam? No, they just knew he was a tiefling.
Oh no!
Oh.
I finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys head out for the sake of moving things along and getting him back in so that, you know, for the whatever happens at the end here. Heckin, you guys move out as you're leaving. Diane escorts you back to the head of the Platinum District, and then
It's just, I hope that we meet again soon, and as I said, I'm very happy we're on good terms now. I look forward to working with all of you to resolve this problem with the Bandit Lord Murkwire. I apologize for what seems to be distrust. Know that sometimes precautions like that are necessary to build a proper working relationship. We will prove to be useful to you in the future.
so you guys all meet up.
Did we get the Miriam boy also? Are we all?
Yes. You all
Hey
meet up.
guys, I just bought someone stuff. We have a cow now. It'll be. At
Oh, we have a cow.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
That'd be hilarious if you just put it in the carriage.
Cramming it in.
I know that Hogan wants to ride Mrs. Horse, and since we only have Peanut carrying the cart, I figured might as well just strap a cow to it.
I go over to the cow.
More
I'm just
pets!
hugging the cow. I appreciate the cow.
You got so much stuff.
You
Yeah,
really
this
did.
oil's
Yeah.
for you. Here's 10 vials of it.
Oh, I forgot.
Lord.
Well, we were at the church. We got holy water, so I got one for Vogan and one for Miriam because you were outside. Here you go.
Is there anything else we need to catch everyone else up on? Oh,
Billy
we
was
need to
Vogan a
register
good
for
boy.
No.
No,
Billy.
no. I want to hear it from the bird.
Billy who's at you.
My word. To bits, you say.
I was gonna say to bits. You say.
Don't fuck with me.
Jeez, Woogie.
Only joking. God.
We all need to register for the tournament soon.
You guys hear a far-off voice as you guys are gathering at the entrance, calling out to you very loudly, with very little discrimination, being like, "Hey!
Is it Lyra?
Yeah, it's
Lyra.
Lyra.
Hell yeah.
Slow
Of course it is.
turd.
It's about time you all came back! I'm starting to think that you died! Again!
We keep doing that to you.
Not a far off
I
guess.
was on mute. Hi.
Oh, jeez.
Approaches you guys. And by this point, the sun's not going down, by the way, but it is getting into later evening. It's
You wanna come to our house?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping I'd get to.
Dinner.
as you guys are talking and going about thinking about doing this, you see a very large man come up behind a lot of you that you do not recognize. Just he looks like a commoner. He has a very, very large bag that he slams down on your wagon without any warning. Ha! Is that good? He looks to the side and you see Mary Mist standing behind him. Nods. Alright. You stay safe, okay? She, like, hands him 5 gold.
Okay. Mary Miss books in there. Goddamn. There's books and a cow in this fucking carriage. Goddamn.
The cow is in the carriage.
The cow isn't here yet. The cow will show up maybe tomorrow.
Yes, most of these things are just going to be delivered.
So are you guys heading back then? You guys would go back, and after the travel, it would be about 5 to 5:30 when you get back. The sky's still pretty bright, but the sun is getting low in the sky. Give it another hour, give it another couple hours, and it's going to start turning into sunset. And you know that they said they'd be showing up tonight. Given that they showed up at basically, when they said they'd show up in the morning, they showed up at like 6:30 to 7. You could probably assume that when they say they're going to show up at night, it's going to be as soon as it's night. You presumably have between 2 to 3 hours before they show up.
I probably want to tell everybody what I told Edrigan.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
please.
Well, I mean, it was a whole. Okay, you know that I had to go with the truth thing. It's not my fault.
I know.
I mean, there was like a lot of basic questions. Like he asked me my name and like what race I am and stuff, and like I told him the truth. He asked me if we were working with Marquire, if we knew what Marquire was doing, and I told him about like the mining and stuff like that. Oh, he said that like the most important thing that he wanted to know and why he wanted like to zone or truth me was if I trusted everyone in the highest standard, because he knew that we had some doubts earlier, and I told him that everyone, like I think that everyone in the highest standard, and she's gonna like look at Raleigh, is very, very trustworthy, and she's gonna look at Vogan and be like, and good people.
He'll blush a little bit and eyes dart away.
You fool.
You're a terrible
And then, you know, Antrius also asked you, like, what's up with Fenris?
Yeah.
That's what I asked him.
He asked me what was up with you, and I told him that I didn't know, because you were being really jumpy and sketchy, and I don't know why. I mean, I said that there was a thing going on with you and Miriam, but that's like the only thing that you've been kind of jumpy about, so.
I'm gonna cast Calm Emotions on myself. I think Fenris just slowly blinks, looks down at the table, and just puts her head down on the table. So he thinks, okay, alright, sure, that's embarrassing, whatever.
I mean, I had to tell the truth anyway. He like
I
asked me
know,
while I was
I'm
still
not
in the circle.
blaming- I wasn't even embarrassed for that reason, I just...
Well, you were acting weird.
Was it like your dad? Because I've disappointed a lot of dads.
It's like that with any of the clerics and paladins of Tequin. It's always like that.
You're so bold beforehand. I didn't expect you'd be so shy about it now.
Yes, you can brag a little bit.
I am going on him more.
Oof.
God damn.
I just don't think that
Sorry.
my business needs to be public.
I mean, you were being really like jumpy about it in public, so I don't get it. I think
be
maybe you need
proud.
to relax a little bit. It's not a big deal. You haven't been this jumpy before.
I don't know. I want them to know that I'm doing my job properly. It always makes me nervous. Tomfoolery doesn't really fall in that. Nor have I particularly shared that part of my life before. Stop.
We will not.
No.
I'm Tom.
Well, there is no funny business, so it doesn't matter anyway.
I thought you
I
guys
think it's
broke
funny.
the Crystal Queen's bed.
So
That
the-
part I don't find is funny.
You... Fucking. Oh.
Yeah, that was part of the problem.
It just seems weird. It didn't seem like you need to break a bed to like remove a cut. Whatever.
No, it's...
We got like, a little ahead of ourselves. I'm thinking cow Milla for the cow.
Almond.
That's a really cute name.
It's adorable.
I heard that, Bread.
There you go, Logan.
I thought that was adorable, Bread.
Thank you. I tried.
That might actually be the best name for a cow I've ever heard.
Thank you.
What is it?
I love the fact
Almond.
that everything I wrote here,
That's really cute.
I said out loud to fucking Diane.
Nice.
Y'all want some almond milk?
That's so cute. I really
Thank
like
you.
that. Side note, I digress. I don't think any of the business should. Yes, we broke. Okay.
Any of the business.
Business.
This is what followed me to my grave. I wish to be there sooner than later.
Oh,
Well, if you didn't have such weird reactions about it, none of us would talk about it. You don't see as
Weird
villain name.
reaction wasn't because of that. I just didn't know how to.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. I just told them the truth. It's the only thing
I
I've
know
been
it's
about.
fine.
I'm like,
Lexi, I'm not mad at you.
I'm furious.
Oh yeah, I'm just disappointed.
Well, that's your own issue.
No, I'm kidding.
That sort of thing just usually does not come up.
And just to be clear, we shouldn't tell anyone about you and Kitty?
No, because there's. Oh, you. There's
Got
nothing to discuss.
Got it.
Then stop freaking
There's-
out about it.
There's really nothing to get upset about.
So she gets it.
Slow turn to Lyra.
She has been quietly, like, strumming on an instrument the entire time. Just, like, observing this.
She's right. She's nothing to be
Pardon my
embarrassed about.
flusterment. I just mean that there's less discussion because there's nothing there. None of this matters. It's happened. The queen is upset at us, and I am going on this walk. And I guess Lexi's coming.
Bark,
And I
bark, bark,
march
bark.
out.
Oh, she pounced at me like I didn't think she was gonna regret it that much.
She did what?
You just hear it.
Oh my god. Fenris,
You
get
just
back
hear
here and you high five me right now.
I don't. It's not that. There's nothing behind it. That's all. Laugh as much as you want.
No, I will. I will laugh until I die. Which
I
I
hope
will
it-
because you fucking fucked us!
She would be after us for taking her. I'm leaving.
Like all of you?
I heard that, Logan.
It's just
I'm
louder than
glad
I.
that you.
I thought it was just
I'm glad-
Miriam.
I'm glad that you think I'm that loose, but no.
I mean, Fenris,
Thank you.
you've slept with like other people before and you haven't freaked out this much.
Well, of course, because you were the only one who knew Lexi, and I told you that as my best friend.
Do I freak you out?
Actually, quite little comparatively. Children are much more
shit.
terrifying than you.
Oh man!
Goddamn! She called you average, dude. You gonna take that?
I do want a round 2 now.
Sure.
Gotta redeem
And
yourself.
besides the fact, I knew it wasn't going to be much of an issue because you probably wouldn't threaten me afterward. It's
Why would I
besides.
threaten you?
Threatened
Well,
her,
not
right?
everyone
Okay.
wants to be with an elf, even if they have been.
Oh, you're hot.
He's right.
It's true.
Well, you weren't alive when it was all going on, so I wouldn't expect you to completely understand. But it hasn't always been so easy. And that's fine. I'm not ashamed of it. If we're really getting into it, yes! Yes! Chastity is not part of my clerichood, and I'm fine with that. And I enjoy whatever I find myself involved with. And I
Me
do
too.
not pursue relationships because that is not for me, but that's besides the. I don't
That's
need to
fair.
explain myself to any of you.
You don't
even
need
though I
love to
have.
love, man. I get that. You're preaching to a choir here. You know, that's the most on, like, the ball I could ever really use that specific. Because you're a Anyways, you guys have a nice walk.
Yeah.
I will.
As you're just
Make sure
going
you get
off,
back
you just
there.
hear behind you. You hear just behind you. On the record, everybody's that loose with enough persuasion.
Right.
I don't know if
Wonderful
that's
to
true.
hear, Lyra.
Get me.
And off on our walk we go.
Liar's like,
I've.
I was this close to silencing her. I'm not certain that she would have noticed.
as it starts to get darker, you do, as you look around, briefly think that you see something off over a hillside you see this like glint as if something reflective catches the light, and as you move towards it, it seems to immediately, like, the light ceases to be shining on it. Coming over that particular hill, you see where that is. Not an object for you to find, but, and Fenris, I assume that you are close behind since Lexi's with you. Now, Lexi, you're a fox right now, yes?
Yes, I'm a fox.
As you come over this particular hill, you find, you hear the sound of extinguishing, and as you come over the hill, you see yet another campfire. It looks like it had only been lit very recently, and it looks like it was doused almost immediately. You find 2 very small flasks, looks like breakable flasks, appear to be suspended by the clips at the end, which, after you take a second to inspect, they're alchemist fire.
Oh, beach. We've got an alchemist, like, around. Okay, cool.
Well, that's not necessarily.
Yeah, I'm taking those. I'm definitely taking those.
All right. As you guys get ready, about another hour goes by until around when the sun is properly setting. There are some orange rays of light coming from beyond the horizon, but beyond that, it's dark. Dark enough that you don't initially see what appears to be 3 figures all dressed in effectively complete black with some silver armor approaching the estate. As you guys do, the first thing you hear before them is the scampering and footsteps of 2 dogs that are with them. Two dogs that don't look like the cutest puppies. They're actually a bit fleshy. They don't appear to be covered in fur, but they're with them. They look like
glow slightly. Fire's coming out of their mouths.
Oh God! Oh.
You see these boys?
Things.
Oh!
I see.
I know these things.
As they approach you, one of the figures heading towards you guys appears to be a larger. You see some exposed skin that you see to be green. You pretty much immediately can tell this is either a trollkin or a half-orc or something in that vein. The other figure's definitely dressed more like an assassin now. They all have hood-ups, but you can tell that one of them is the figure that you spoke to that morning, Thulin Island. And the other figure appears to, is dressed in relatively protective looking, but relatively tight, black and brown leather armor. They have, like, with silver iron plating over it. The first thing you catch from them is they seem to be wearing a choker that has a little emerald stone in it that catches the light from your house as you guys are approaching. The other 2 figures being male, the one that is leading being female. They walk forward. Okay. They enter into the radius where light would catch them, and then the 3 of them stop very briefly. They don't make any noise, they don't call out, they just make sure they stay in the position outside the house where light's lit inside. Once they're sure that you guys have seen them, they continue moving forward to the house and they knock on the front door.
Like I said, I was standing just outside.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. There was... Yeah. So, in that case, then they would have stopped as soon as you guys could see them. Thulin would step forward. We still on?
I'll have you know that I put on quite the party.
I hope so. The woman in the front takes a step forward. I'd like to introduce you to the person who's going to be doing most of the talking tonight. This is our godchild, the Empty Promise. The woman lifts up, grabs the hood and pulls it down. Sorry for everything that we've had to put you through up till this point. I don't like building this kind of distrust. She pulls the hood back. Work, Image. I demand you work. Hopefully, there can be trust between the 2 of our groups from here forward.
I knew it! Fucking
Did you guys see Diane?
I called it day 1.
No, you didn't.
Dude, he fucking did.
Tried to cover your tracks. Tried to cover your tracks with me, but I never bought it.
Day 1, you said they're evil. They're not.
No, they're not.
I don't know. Like, I was gonna ask how much Miriam knows about blink dogs, because if these motherfuckers have blink dogs, they can't be all bad.
Yo, she looks so good though. Like, damn.
She does.
There's obvious shock, but you know.
Last thing.
No shock from Bogan.
May we come in?
Please.
And then we will stop with them entering. We'll stop with the thing that I thought was going to be minute 20 of today's game.
Well, we're not sorry.
really?
Okay?
I needed a cow, Logan.
Very
I needed
What's
a
our
cow.
estate game?
Goodbye, YouTube. We'll
Goodbye,
remember
you
the stuff
guys.
about.
You're looking
You've made it this far. It's been like 2 hours since we brought it up, so I just want to very quickly remember the Chat19 stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.